Good afternoon. It is October 18th, 2011. It's 3:45 p.m. We're here at Coast Guard Pier in New Bedford, and we are about to talk about some grants that the state gave to the City of New Bedford through the Seaport Council that have bought infrastructure and built infrastructure for our city, which is designed to sustain our dynamic working waterfront. The first person that I would like to introduce is the chair of the Seaport Council, Lieutenant Governor Tim Murray, who has been instrumental in helping New Bedford maintain its working waterfront, both from the fishing standpoint, which makes us very proud to once again say that we're the #1 fishing port in the country, as well as the diversification of our waterfront, which means import-export cargo. It means ferry service, barge service, cruise ships coming in, yacht clubs coming in, as well as recreational uses such as the regatta that we recently had with crew boats. So we really owe a great deal of thanks to the Lieutenant Governor. Over the past 5 years, he's provided the City of New Bedford, the Port of New Bedford, with just a tremendous amount of help from the state government. We thank him along with the Governor. So I'd like to turn the mic over to the Lieutenant Governor, Tim Murray.
Thanks, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor, and it's been a great day, except I dropped my brief remarks, though I think I could do this thing cold. But really, it's great to be in New Bedford and see the collective work of so many come to fruition. The administration from day one has said New Bedford is a priority. We see huge opportunity in supporting the vision laid out by the mayor and the council and by the Seaport team led by Kristen Dekas here in New Bedford with the commission, that it's all about jobs and it's about creating opportunities and import-export, as the mayor mentioned, doing everything we can to make sure the infrastructure is there for our commercial fishermen and their families and all the back operations that they support, whether it be the shops, whether it be the various processing facilities that are here, all critically important. And then also growing a vision for travel and tourism with a new hotel. We're trying to make sure that recreational boaters and others, really a multi-use port with New Bedford and Fairhaven. And back in 2008, we allocated the Seaport Council $75,000 to launch infrastructure, mooring, and harbor markers, and the grant was to build a dinghy dock to provide seasonal spaces for recreational boaters and support the maritime operations. And this was all part of the recreational harbor plan. And again, it's easy to get behind communities that have a plan, have got all the stakeholders together, and this is going to help do that. This will allow both commercial boats and for more opportunities for rental moorings and launch service, again adding that diverse mix of uses here, which is what we want. We want to be able people to come and go in a safe manner, and this will help facilitate that. It's also consistent with our port security goals, and we were just over at the State Pier, where we've seen significant multi-million-dollar renovation there, but also providing at the State Pier a safety access point for our environmental police, the New Bedford Police, and fire, as well as Coast Guard operations with a secure launch and area for them. In addition, in 2007, the New Bedford Harbor Commission, which is led by Kristen Dekas and with the mayor, was awarded a $95,000 boating infrastructure grant, BIG, by the Massachusetts Division of Marine Fisheries, the Department of Fish and Game, which is led by Commissioner Griffin, and to increase and improve existing transient boater access to the City of New Bedford. As I mentioned, recreational boating is a big part of our travel and tourism economy, not only here in New Bedford, but along the 2,800 miles of coastline that is the seacoast of Massachusetts. And according to maritime studies, every dollar spent by a boater is an $8 economic return in activity that is received by the community. We have nearly 5 million Massachusetts residents. Of the 6 million population of Massachusetts, 5 million, 3/4 of the state's population live within 10 miles of the ocean, and there are over 186,000 registered and Coast Guard documented boats in the state of Massachusetts. So you see the millions of dollars, the hundreds of millions of dollars that are generated. On any one given high season weekday, between 56,000 to 90,000 Massachusetts residents go boating. on the state's waterways, and on average high season weekend, the number of boaters enjoying recreational boating jumps to between 130,000 to nearly 200,000. So you understand why things like this are so important. The Seaport's investment of $75,000 and the support from programs such as the Clean Vessel Act program and the boating infrastructure grants has enhanced the Port of New Bedford with recreational boating infrastructure. And again, part of the goal is to enhance the recreational boating, sailing activities. The mayor has had an intense vision for crew, which is taking place as well. We don't do this alone. It happens with a partnership with the legislature. So many of the grants that we've been able to make in New Bedford on various fronts, but certainly on the port, is because of support by the legislature. I want to thank Representative Cabral and Representative Markey, who was with us earlier. We have representatives from Senator Montigny's office as well, and much of the funding that we've been able to leverage here, state dollars in different projects here in New Bedford, have also come with Congressman Frank's help with various dollars. So a great partnership, and it's all about setting a platform, laying a platform, literally and figuratively, limited strategic investment by government that invites and encourages and sends the right message to the private sector. We're seeing that here in New Bedford, and this is just another example of that. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to call up Representative Tony Cabral, who has been involved day in, day out in this revitalization of our waterfront, and Tony is representing the entire delegation, and I'd ask Tony to come up and speak.
Thank you, Mayor Lang. It's a great opportunity for me to be here, and once again thank the governor, in particular the lieutenant governor, for his leadership on the Seaport Council and all the investments that they have done here in New Bedford. This also represents, being the chairman of the Committee on Bonding and Capital Expenditures, this represents really an important and responsible way of investing our bond dollars, our capital dollars, while maintaining our fiscal ability at the state level, and at the same time improving our bond rating. The state just got moved up from AA to AA plus. So this really represents this administration, through the leadership of the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor, the ability for us to recognize the importance of investing in our infrastructure, at the same time do it in a responsible way, in a fiscally responsible way that allows us to improve our bond rating at the same time, therefore allows us to secure more dollars by floating additional bonds, because our bonds will become less expensive and therefore we can get more for our dollars. So once again, thank you to the Lieutenant Governor, for the Seaport Council. All this money is bond money. It's all capital expenditure money. It shows you the kind of responsibility and the kind of planning that takes place in order for these good investments to take place. So Lieutenant Governor, thank you very much for your leadership in the Seaport Council, and give a big thank you to the Governor. He's a great friend and a great partner for us here in New Bedford. Thank you.
Now, what I'd like to do is recognize just a few people. First, Commissioner DCR Ed Lambert is here, former mayor of the city of New Bedford, city of Fall River, rather, and a great friend of the city of New Bedford. I want to also point out that just over our shoulder is the Ernestina. Ed was here last Friday to welcome it back. I know he's a champion of the Ernestina, and we appreciate all of his help on everything in the city, parks, recreation, and also this heirloom that we have in the city. Also, I want to recognize Congressman Frank for all of his help on this and the stimulus advocacy that he's provided for the city of New Bedford and for our state. Inez Gonzalez-Trulay is here representing him, and then Terry Noel is representing Senator Montigny. The next person I'd like to call up to the mic is the Executive Director of the Harbor Development Commission. She's involved day in, day out to make sure that our harbor represents the best of New Bedford. And what you can see when we go through this conference and hear from Mary Griffin is that we have come up with a perfect alliance with the #1 fishing port in the country, the #1 fishing fleet in the country, and many, many multiple uses, so that the harbor is something that really brings a tremendous amount of life and vitality to our city. And Kristen has been charged with that responsibility and has done just a great job with it. And I ask her to come up. And Kristen, would you introduce Mary as well, okay? Thanks.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to start by thanking all the leadership up here behind me for their incredible support of our port and bringing us the tools that we need to leverage our recreational boating community. Under the vision of our mayor, we planted a seed to bring sailing layovers to the city, and in 2007 we hosted our first layover with a yachting club, and this year we're very pleased to report that thanks to all the assets that we now have, we had 20 sailing layovers. So it really has been an economic driver for our port, and we're just thrilled to have this infrastructure. So now we're really part of the game, if you will, in terms of being a destination for the recreational boating. I'd also like to point out the pump out boat that we have behind me. And John Anderson is one of our harbor attendants. I have a great team behind me that helps me write the grants, run the boats, get out there, meet and greet all the boaters coming in, that come into the city. We have a roll the carpet, red carpet out attitude when folks come in here. And I'd also like to acknowledge Tom Below and Stephanie Cunningham for their tremendous support in helping us leverage the funding that we need to put all these projects in queue. So without further ado, I'd like to acknowledge Mary Griffin, who's been a tremendous partner in terms of all of these grants and making sure that we have the tools we need to be a strong destination for recreational boating. Thanks.
Thank you, Kristen. Department of Fish and Game really enjoys working with Stephanie. She brings so much energy and enthusiasm and intelligence to her job. It's great to be here with Lieutenant Governor Murray, Mayor Lang, and Representative Cabral, and a number of other state and federal legislators to talk about recreational boating in New Bedford. I feel like I'm usually here, and all the people behind me are great advocates for the commercial fishing industry of Massachusetts and New Bedford, which is so critically important, the #1 landing port in the nation. So usually we're here about that, but it's great to be in New Bedford to celebrate recreational boating and 2 grants. The first for the pump out boat behind me, which is beautiful. Then that's from what is called the CVA grant program, Clean Vessel Program. And there was also a series of a grant for transient boater access at a number of different locations in the city of New Bedford that included docks, gangways, and floats. And the locations were Coast Guard Park, Ishmael's Landing, Tonson Park, and Pope's Island. So we have some improvements from a grant program from a number of different New Bedford locations to provide layover boating for recreational boaters. So it's great to be here to celebrate this. Thanks so much for everyone's help, and I also want to thank Tom, Eileen Feeney, and Stephanie Cunningham for all their great work to administer this program and make it work. Thanks.